Alright, I have no memory of how to get to the Bureau. Okay, here we are at the Bureau. After hours of effort, we have returned. And we have a number of places that we can go. At least one of which I no longer remember. But, let's see. I know I want to go to the crystal and then turn around to get to random access storage. Because that's where Carrington is putting on his play. The sandwich. Alrighty. Thank goodness. Here we are, back again. See our friend Carrington. This is a long act. Beautiful. Aha. You feeling all right there? You look a little woozy. Good to stretch out a bit. How's your leg? Just another reminder I don't belong here. Huh. Okay. Ah, so glad you stopped by. I've been standing here alone, waiting for my cast and crew, and I'm afraid very little can be done in their absence. I've just been thinking. The narrow constraints of this place will make for quite an introspective stage. Even trying to visualize the performance here, I find my own thoughts drawn inward. Well, I suppose it is the business of a cast and crew to be late, just as it is the business of a director to visualize. It's all becoming very clear to me. This venue will be perfect. A triumph. I wonder, do you ever feel as though you've arrived after... just after, I suppose. After the Orestia, after Faustus, after Iceman. What's your most treasured stage production, my friend? Oh, tell me about it. What do you remember? Yes. Quite an experimental production, really. Did you know? Plastic theater. So, that said, I have my vision for the transformation of this venue, but it's all still unsettled and potential while we wait for the cast and crew to arrive. So tell me, what do you think? Where in this cavernous storage facility shall we stage the production? Where is there room for an audience to get that crucial dramatic distance from the performers? Ooh. Dramatic distance, indeed. It's certainly a modern take, and certainly within the realm of the possible. In fact, we may be able to repurpose this facility's own security camera network. You've given me a great deal to think about, friends, and it seems I'll have some time yet to consider it all. Well, surely the cast and crew will arrive within the hour, and we'll begin constructing this set and arranging the lights. I hope you can come by again to see me before the show, but I understand you have your own tasks to carry out. Just remember, the death of the hired man, random access storage facility, dawn. The character model just drifts up. Mary Ann, was that the receptionist? Oh, hi. Hello there. What's your name? Just clearing my head. Turpentine is good for that. Clears the sinuses and the cobwebs. I can only do watercolors at home. My apartment is carpeted, and the landlord's paranoid it'll soak up the fumes. But these storage spaces are pretty cheap, and the ventilation is good, so I can play with oil paints here. Cheaper than a studio. Sometimes landscapes, sometimes color fields. I just like to use the whole canvas. Keeps your eyes moving. Huh. I've never known a self-storage place to have good ventilation. I don't believe you that it happens. I guess only in the Zero could it happen. Ooh. Alright. All the way back to the bureau. I'm doing the wrong thing. I thought like a normal human being for once. I need to continue anti-clockwise. I gotta get back to the crystal. At least no one would get mad at me if I got lost down here. Like, it would make sense. It's like, oh, you got lost in the infinite donut that is the entire world down here? Understandable. No. Okay. Okay. So, that is one thing. I have 3 other things down here, one of which I no longer remember what it is. But it's the last thing. It's what Lula gave us. Bureau, cathode, and then another word that I wrote down starting with B. I think that's where it ends up. But let's start from the top. Number 1, night facility. Clockwise to anchor, back to whirlpool. Oh. What is this? Two figures crouch over a pile of wood a few yards from the creek, occasionally hammering or making adjustments. Junebug pulls the bike closer to the creek. What looked from the road like a haphazard pile of wood is actually a worn boat. It's in poor repair. Perhaps it was abandoned and only recently salvaged. Johnny shouts a greeting. There's too much work to be done. Rotten planks to be pulled and replaced. Nails need to be driven. Gaps caulked. Johnny switches on the field recorder. The recorder's red light flips on with a thrum. The take-up reel rolls forward silently for a moment before catching tape and beginning the recording. One of the figures stops working, sets down a caulk gun, and looks over at Johnny. The other finishes tearing at a bit of rotten wood stuck to the hole, then turns. After a minute or two, Johnny stops the recorder. File that one under water sounds. You don't get to have our noises. Whirlpool. Back around again. Rust Archives. The Rust Archives are housed in a low wooden building with angular flourishes and glass. Shannon enters alone, walking up a shallow ramp and through glass doors. A young woman seated in a wheelchair staffs the front desk. She smiles politely. Two folders are stacked on the desk, an orange one labeled Wheat Tree, Mexico City, VAM Station Wagon, 1974, and a green one labeled Wheat Tree, Elizabethtown, Kinetic Sculpture, 1968. I wonder if that's Lula's. The woman at the front desk gestures to an unlabeled door in the back of the room. Shannon enters, switches on a lamp at a desk inside the small room, and sits down with the orange folder. Inside the folder are 3 clear plastic bags containing muddy brown flakes of varying sizes and hues. Each sample is numbered, with corresponding one-sheet documents interleaved. The first sample was taken from the hood of a station wagon. The text speculates about a tree under which it was parked. The decayed oak leaves found stuck in the windshield wipers, pools of dew that had accumulated in dents. The second sample was taken from the passenger side door. The text describes some variance in oxidation and age, evidence that the station wagon was involved in a minor accident and a part of the door repaired and painted over. The third and last sample, taken from the gas tank. Given the relatively small amount of rust accumulated here when compared to the rest of the car, the accompanying text concludes that the station wagon was returned to use after being abandoned for some time. All right. The first sample was taken from the sculpture's base and is the smallest of the 3. The accompanying text explains that the base was made up of a cheap stainless steel. It resisted decay, but not entirely. The second sample is made up of dozens of small flakes and was taken from a chain-link fence that surrounded the sculpture. The text speculates that the material making up the fence could not have been seriously intended to protect anyone or anything. It was too weak to be anything but decorative. The last sample was taken from a garbage can near the sculpture. The accompanying text describes this kind of metal garbage can, its common use in institutional settings, and its resilience against air conditioning, discarded carbonated drinks, and other institutional hazards. All right. Back to the whirlpool. Whew. Okay. Next. All the way to Scarecrow, which is ostensibly a fair ways away. Whew. Bat feeder. Rowboat was right there. All right. The Account Resolution Center is several hundred feet above the ground, precariously supported by a dozen metal pipes. The wires of a pulley system run down from a hole in the floor. A thin rope dangles next to them. Shannon tugs on the rope a few times. After a few still moments, the pulley wires grind into operation and a metal bucket slowly descends. While she watches the bucket approach, Shannon's mind wanders. She thinks about Weaver. She wonders if Weaver is down here somewhere on the Zero, and what she might say about it. Probably something about its topology, its knotted surface. She remembers a puzzle Weaver enjoyed as a teenager about bridges and islands. Move between the islands, crossing each bridge once, and only once. That's, what is that? The Oilers Bridge? Königsberg? Weaver filled sketchbooks drawing these islands and bridges from memory, trying different routes. Eventually she moved on to other puzzles. Had she solved it? Given up? Or maybe she'd just drawn those bridges and islands so many times that she no longer needed paper and pencil to work on it. You can go through... it's a cheat, but one of the things you do is you make a line and node circumnavigating the world so you come to the other side of the town, and that's how you can do all 7 bridges. Most people think that's not in the spirit of the game, though. The pulley stops abruptly as the bucket reaches shoulder height. Inside is a handwritten note. Regrettably indisposed, please call again. God, I hate this company. It's not even real, and it makes me angry. Okay, so that's that. The other thing I know is back at the Bureau. I will try it. Just a big puzzle, right? Okay. Last one. To the cathode ray. All right. Oh. What a delight. Oh, there's the cat. Okay. Fine. Be that way. Aha. You. Here you are. Marianne has the rest of the evening off, so I'm minding the desk. It is, isn't it? Sometimes I forget. The acoustics in here have a way of grinding one down. The results just came in by courier. Good news. Donald and his assistants were able to sort through the noise. I had Rick cross-reference their results against some of our records. He found a corresponding mail stop on the Echo River route. As it happens, the night ferry is scheduled to make its stop here shortly. The ferryman carries the mail and collects the garbage as well. I'm sure you can catch a ride out that way. You're welcome to wait here. I have to get back to packing. I might. I'm feeling impulsive. I'd like to be ready. Maybe back to Mexico. It's been years. They still have one of my sculptures in a museum down there, did you know? Big, ugly iron thing. Time to have it scrapped anyway. Safe travels. Try to stay out of the water. It's colder than it looks. And deep. Acherontic, perhaps. Styxian. Stygian, I suppose. We weren't allowed to go see the bears again. How long do we have to wait? Oh, who knows? Alright, what happened? This is what a normal person would say. Someone who knows exactly what she's talking about would say this. Hear that, Cricket? Nothing happened. Slow night. It's okay. You can tell them. Doesn't matter anymore. Fine. So we were in the graveyard. I don't know if you heard that, but there was an eerie moaning sound, but it was a car, not a ghost. There we go. Okay. I clicked before and it didn't do anything. Let's look inside. I'm changing the timeline. I'm saying different things. It is interesting. Sometimes they're like, go walk 15 miles. And other times they're like, here, we'll just have a button that takes you all the way over there. The church metal is cold floor, scuffed in flecks by unknown boot heels. I am a smart. I don't know what I expected. The strangers, he kept saying. Kind of vague already, isn't it? Donald's a stranger. Oh, you and I are practically strangers. Oh, Shannon, come on. It's been a night that's lasted 1,000 years. Listen, earlier in the mine, I didn't want to talk about it, but when I saw Weaver, she was on TV. I was testing a pretty simple tube repair, flipping through channels to check the saturation, and she was just there. It was kind of horrible. I mean, I told you she disappeared suddenly, ran away, but we thought, yeah, I guess I don't like to say it, dead. And then the next time I flipped to channel 2, Weaver. It's burned in my vision now. She's standing in a room. The walls are a blank kind of gray. There's tape on the walls, like markings and desks. A classroom, maybe? The camera's in the corner, so it's this sort of 45-degree angle into the room. And there's Weaver right in the center of the picture. I stopped turning the dial. Hell, I think I stopped breathing. Eventually she spoke, but there was no real sound, just this awful hum. I read the closed captions. She said to go to the mine. I'd find something there. I can't remember her exact words. Whenever I try, I get distracted, fuzzy. I could almost cough for real. It's so dusty in here, right? Yeah, real dusty. You'd think with all these holes in the ceiling... What the hell was that? Did you hear that? I think it was a deep mechanical rumble. Oh no. Man. The stranger activates the tape player slung on his shoulder. A crackly drawl echoes in the room. It is patient and sounds like it should be smiling. What? It's a playwright. My regrets. I hope I didn't keep you waiting long. We don't see a lot of foot traffic these days. I guess you're here about the job. I'm afraid we only have one opening at the moment. Horrible business. Certainly, I'll tell you everything you need to know. I've only just met you, but I feel certain there's a place for you here. Oh God, I hope not. I'll just take you over to meet the dispatcher, show you the trucks, get you familiarized. We can converse as we go. What is this place? Yeah, maybe, but for what? Why hidden away like this? And what's that smell? Like bread? Baking bread? Please, follow me. I have to ask you to step in here a moment. This is for your safety, and adjust your outfits just a bit. There's some protective headwear up on the wall back there. Please remove your shoes and eyeglasses. Shoes and eyeglasses, just like the lower depths. We don't wear glasses. Oh, I understand. It's only courtesy to... Well, do us a favor and put on the headwear anyway. Just this way. Hard hat. Oh. Maybe that's how I escape. I guess I go here. Looks like this is as far as I can go. More new arrivals this evening. Plenty to do. Got to relay the formula. What formula? Huh? Oh, the formula. Changed our lives. Once, years ago, we were as prisoners to the intricacies of our debts here. We'd have to account for everything on paper. Compounding interest by hand, reassessing amortization and leverage asset distributions according to nightly merit decay. Then she stepped out of the dark caves to show us the light of the formula. She had a brilliant grasp of mathematics and a saint-like way of speaking right through the numbers. Now we just plug our daily numbers into the formula and run it all through the adding machine. We occasionally suffer some surplus drift, but she instructed us on all the necessary adjustments. It was devastating to see our revered mathematician go, but she was needed elsewhere. Her legacy abides. I don't know that it's been settled just yet. You see, sometimes we take on newcomers already in debt to the distillery. One of the 4 men will find something for them to do, chip away at their sum until it's all settled. That's what I'm doing here, chipping away. That's what we're all doing. Well, they're alive for now. They've survived the entertainment for at least a little bit. Wow, check this stuff out. Must be decades old, but it's in perfect condition. Yeah, I've got it bad. That's why I got into this business, to keep old stuff like this running. Seems like such a shame to let it just fall into ruin, you know? Like that computer back in the cave, Xanadu. Decades of engineering, thousands of years of mathematics and philosophy, all petrified into living stone. How can you just let that fall apart? I don't know if I should degauss them. Here's the fleet. Haha. Oh, we just use these things to get around internally. Oh, I'm a copywriter. Text on bottles and flyers, ad copy, that sort of thing. Discerning shades and heartsick lovers have long known the taste of hard times and held it in favor over all other spirits. That was one of mine. It's not very good, Doolittle. That kind of sucked hard. So, the trucks are just east a ways in shipping. You can become acquainted with the dispatcher there. Give me a tap on the shoulder if you see anything that catches your eye. Always happy to show off the facilities. Sublime machinery. Should I look around first? Can't go. Okay. Not allowed to go anywhere else. Okay. Can we talk to him? Whoa. How'd it go, Zeke? Zeke just did a bit of recruiting, stopped at a tavern, collect payment, and returned with able bodies. Haha. That's so sinister. I hate that. It's so sinister. Oh, I didn't even notice those guys. This is Earl. He used to be a beekeeper. Borrowed some used cask to store the hives, but the interest accrued more quickly than the money, than the honey. Now he works for us here in logistics. Oh God, I hate this company so much. Nope, those guys don't count. Can't get closer to them, I don't think. Yeah. I don't know if there was anyone up there and I just didn't notice. Nope, just him. Anything to say over here? Service store? No. Huh. No shipping's down there. Distillation. I don't know if there's like invisible skeletons anywhere or anything. Nothing to say? White lightning in a copper bottle. Ha! Some folks have other names for it. Like a revelation, my friend. Oh, you wouldn't want to drink it at this stage. Not that you could get a hold of any here. That's what the safe is for. Look at the neck, like a swan's, eh? This design is part of our legacy. The vapor passes up through this neck along just such a contour so as to produce our bourbon's signature character. Mr. Bishop always said the shape came to him in a dream. He shot awake in the middle of the night and set to work hammering an old tea kettle to match that phantom geometry. Believe what you will. Here the vapors pass through a coil submerged in cold water and condense. Again, the geometry is very particular. Mr. Bishop arrived by intuition at a series of mathematical relationships between the angles and magnitudes here, some weird cacophony of ratios. Well, those principles are lost to history now. Moving along. Oh. Yeah, I don't think I can get to them. At least not from here. Spirit safe. Don't let them catch you looking too closely here. Not within our purview. Keeps us honest in the eyes of the state. Well, in the eyes of the management, anyway. We keep pretty well out of view down here. Not much chance of being spotted by helicopter, hey? But if the law came knocking, we could say we were logging and securing our virgin spirits. We could say. Marvelous engineering, though, isn't it? Is this the alcohol version of a brick sandwich? Connie, how's your rat? Connie is a great lover of animals. Do you know she's adopted over a dozen pets in as many of the last years? Of course, death comes to all things great and small. The distillery found that the remains in her makeshift pet cemetery were trespassing on our subterranean property. Our hand was forced. In order to avoid the legal extinguishment of our easement, we were required to file a civil suit. However, the level head, Connie agreed to a pre-court settlement to pay off her fines by working for us here. No, that's not how it works. Oh. I'm gonna hunt these distillery folk for sport. Hoof. Can we reach him? Feel that draft of warmth? Like a summer breeze. This is the aging warehouse. It's 100%. Draws a lot of electricity to tame this cold, rocky cave, I tell you that. Of course, we only have half our aging stock in here at any given time. Most distilleries let their whiskey sit and cast through the cycle of seasons. In summer, the wood expands and the whiskey seeps in, picking up flavor. In winter, the wood contracts and squeezes the whiskey back out. Down here, there are no seasons. Each workday proceeds from the last in an unbroken chain of climate control. So, we make our own seasons. Each cask alternates in a weekly cycle between the cold ground upstairs in this heated warehouse. So they bury them like graves. I should have counted. Nope. Dudes are gone. Yeah. Nope, not gonna let me. Okay. So I guess these are like before and after. They smell nice for a little while, but it's pretty overpowering. No way around the smell. No way to clean them after the aging process, I mean. It's a one-way street. Please, don't touch a thing. Very sensitive devices. We're not even allowed to run the formula through them. Temperatures, pressures, wear, tear, acidity, supply levels, any and all tending numbers in need of crunching, and so on. Am I boring you yet? Are you simply dying of boredom? I myself could discuss this matter past sunrise. Of course, I'm boring you. Let's move on. How's it looking, Ted? Got that new fan installed? Ted met one of our engineers at a bar some years ago, and they just clicked. Our engineer told him about some trouble with the equipment here, and he felt compelled to take a crack at it. Ted's been obsessively tuning, replacing, and upgrading ever since. Quite a project, Ted. You'll get ahead of it one day, I'm sure. How goes the mystery, Danny? Danny's an enigma. He leases an old van from our fleet for some kind of daily art project. He drives out every morning and comes back by evening smelling of propellants. Can't afford the lease in cash, so he pays us with work here. One of these old computers looks like about the same vintage as that stuff in the cave. Oh wow, good eye. This is an XY monitor. They use them in oscilloscopes and arcade games. Well, they used to anyway. It's rare stuff. Hey, is this like antiquing with Lisette for you? I probably sound kind of ridiculous waxing on about vacuum tubes and oscilloscopes. Yeah, I guess it is. Someday you'll have to tell me what yours is. Nothing over there. Wait, do I need to go down there? Oh. This must have been annoying to program. Well, hey. Alright, nothing over there. Oh, up. You're trying to sneak over. You're trying to hide. And here's the first moment you could really call it bourbon. The barrel dump. We cut it here with water from the middle of Lake Leith. Ooh, has to be right in the middle, at the deepest, coldest point. They dive with sealed jugs and only stop to fill them once they've reached total darkness. Pageantry? Ritual? Who can say? Tradition, maybe. It's a shame you're evil. I wonder if you're evil before merging with the Consolidated Power Corporation? Alright. Is there anything down here? Okay. I just want to see. Okay. I know there's a person up here. Smell that? No mistaking it. Exactly. That's the work of our unique ingredient, the yeast. The story is that Mr. Bishop got it from a baker in Knoxville in a little tin box. He was on the run, our Mr. Bishop, from the law. For a while, he hid out in some muddy swamp, subsisting on live fish, but he always kept that little tin box dry, held above his head. Some among us have proposed that a bit of swamp water seeped in that little tin box, introducing a foreign element and giving our yeast culture the eccentricity for which it's so widely known. I think it was that baker in Knoxville. They arrested him years later for the possession of a controlled substance. Life in prison, solitary confinement, no visitors, no windows, till the day he died. Must have been a hell of a substance, hey? Really? You're not gonna meet anyone? I worked so hard to get up to you. Put in effort. This is a video game. I never put in effort into video games. This is where most of our stuff ends up. Most of our staff ends up. Checking the quality assurance. We used to bottle everything by hand, but these machines are marvelously effective. Made things a bit complicated for the workers. After all, the distillery can't just fire them. How then would they settle their accounts? But there's nowhere else to put them. They keep an eye on things here. Can't be paid as much just to watch, of course. Well, that's progress for you. Oh, Doolittle, if this is what you really believe. I agree with Lulu's opinion of you. This is Cliff in Bogling. Did you know? Well, how could you? Cliff was behind bars not long ago. He placed a desperate advertisement in a local newspaper seeking assistance on his bail. The distillery put up the money, and now he's working it off while his case hovers in bureaucratic limbo. That's like the least monstrous, but he's basically trapped here because it's this place or prison for him. No. What's going on? There's shipping down here. I don't think I've missed anything. If I have, it's only a small amount, I hope. Alright. New truck. Oh no. Ezra, your predictions. Here it is. Now, I had to ask, as a matter of course, what kind of experience do you have driving trucks? Aha, precious cargo. You'll do just fine. And you can drive safely, can't you? I haven't any doubt now. It's only after what happened with Miguel this evening. In Act 1, the car crash. Well, the dust is still clearing, of course. Perhaps he closed his eyes a moment, or simply hit a curve too devilish. I do pity ill-fated Miguel. He was good company, and slow to anger. But if we're speaking confidentially, well, with all that lost product to be repaid, bourbon and glass dashed across the interstate, and a few casts too, we're all just thankful he had no next of kin. You cannot do little. If you do not see this as monstrous, then I need you dead. Deader. $10.20 on that load coming back. Up in the Hummingbird Cave, 1012, City Kitty. This a good time, dispatch? We may have found Miguel's replacement, though you might like to get acquainted. Thought you might. 10-9 come again? Introduce yourself. Hello? Tell dispatch something impressive about yourself. They're very well regarded here. $99 wheel holder, gotta pay the water bill. So. I'm certain they'll call back before long. Let's take a look around the truck, eh? Headlights work fine, see? That's important. Most of our product goes out at night. You never know who you'll run into in the daylight, and dusk can be treacherously misleading with all that indirect light. The magic hour, eh? Sure, those that sleep. Miguel pulled extra day shifts when he could. Sometimes he'd help me, Sometimes over in bottling. He shouldn't have been out driving at dusk. Weird shadows, soft light, dangerous. Huh? Conway had to get off the highway. Too loud, too murky. He turned off into some gray cornfield in Indiana. No, I won't let you. Seeing those migrations close up, they looked random. He thought about the load in the trailer. Thousands of plastic cups. Somebody wanted those cups from Rockford that night. So, moving on. Looks like it's just about ready to go out. We have some good strong folks in shipping here, so you never need to worry about loading if you don't want to. Bit hard on the knees and back at our age, eh? Of course you'll have to unload at the destination, but that's the job. And some drivers like the extra shift stacking and loading here. I see. Well, surely we can spare a dolly and carrying strap for your health and safety. We'll allow you not to necessarily break your body. Everything was too bright. His head hurt, the usual. Lisette and Ira argued loudly just outside the open barn door. She wanted Ira to take him inside and shower, have some coffee, get to the job. Ira said there wasn't time. Conway was in no condition. It was an important job. They couldn't put it off. Ira said to let the deadbeat sleep it off and then send him packing. He said Charlie could do the job. He tried to say something reassuring, but just sort of stumbled around it. Lisette looked away. Ira just spat and went inside to wake Charlie. Ira was a stubborn man, so Charlie went along, and Conway drifted out again. And he didn't hear about the accident until months later. So, what's next? Control the wipers with this knob here. They seem to have a decent torque to them, eh? Can't say how they'd fare in an ice storm, but we must never delay a shipment. Better to assume the risk. So I hear, but most of our product is delivered by surface roads, which feel rain quite often, particularly in the spring months. So I hear. It was pointless to stay. All review, he was a lost cause, and she didn't need it anyway. She was smart, bored. It was time to cut out. Shitty day for it, though. 83 and biblical flood. It was some anonymous swashbuckler film about real men and women, real tights, real lips, fake blood. They brought a flask. They smoked cigarettes, drank awful hooch, whistled buckets of rain. She sang about someone she wanted once to have loved. Oh, the song perhaps. Brown hair curled around her ear. She had a voice like Scotch whiskey. Stiff drinks were wearing on him, and he felt a surge of dejection. He knew she'd keep singing. He thought she should sing for someone who deserved to hear it. He knew she'd find a ride, so he slipped out alone. He sat in his car and went over some options. Chicago, Toronto, Barrow. It seemed like a bold and impulsive gesture at the time. As he pulled out of the parking lot, he removed his hands from the steering wheel for a moment and felt the car drift into a decision. Years later, he'd think of this as the moment he himself started drifting. Modest technology, but suited to the job, eh? Plenty good enough. Conway. I want a better life for you. Oh, sure. I know you want to look. Kick the tires. That's a thing we do, isn't it? Oh, Doolittle, I want you dead. As though our knees could exert the kind of force these tires see out there on the road. We're more likely to hurt ourselves. Isn't it the way, eh? Absolutely. A truck deserves care and fearful respect, like a glass elephant. Miguel was a good driver, but he didn't have that quality of deference. I've worked with people who are like that. It's just like, oh, you know, this person, well, they were pretty shit, weren't they? You just talk to them long enough and nothing they say is good. It's just a meniscus atop all their garbage. As I always say of him, he was good company. Many of us have found ourselves in his position, arrogantly grasping at personal sovereignty when our lives had become unmanageable. There's no shame in it, only condolence. Oh, fuck you. Now, what else can we show you? Your innards. Driver, come back. Ah, there's dispatch. Now, tell them about your experience. Tell them the truck's in good shape. Tell them you'll start in the morning. No. Yeah, we've got to finish this delivery in a few. 10:33 dispatch. Got 2 black eyes and a flock of crocodiles. Come back. 10:4. Back it down and prick your eyelids, driver. Come back, Lem. 10:4. Come back, wheel folder. No, don't do it, Conway. Dispatch is addressing you. He's here, dispatch. Got your ears on? Good. Listen to this. So, I think that went well. Let's head back up to logistics and seal the deal, eh? And I've got one more thing to show you. It's dark now. Who would make their factory dark when people are working? He didn't even park well. Oh. Wait, we only came here looking for some answers about this stupid moldy computer. Oh, the old man in the cave with the moldy computer. That black mold is drawn to whiskey. It feeds on ethanol fumes, you see. As we age the whiskey, some of it inevitably evaporates into the air. The angels share. It goes through the vents here and out into the caves. If we can scrape up that mold, we can usually apply some pressure and cold to it, squeeze and condense the angel share back into drinkable whiskey. Every drop counts when you're making a living on the stuff, so we go down and scrape it off his equipment, just like any other place it grows. Well, I mean, you talking about legal stuff, that's trespass. He kept sending his people here to drive us away. Paranoid, truly paranoid. Well, now we have the formula, so we don't need to go collecting mold. But we didn't do anything to his moldy computer. He just forgot the password. One of his assistants shared it with me. Dome in air. That'll get you going, I'm sure of it. So, join me upstairs? No, I want you dead. Let's go shatter all the tanks. Smash you to pieces. Is this logistics? Or was logistics way over there with those computers? If you don't mind. Here it is. A beauty, wouldn't you say? It's an antique, you know. What is it? Why, it's a dating machine. This is where we come for our daily ritual, to calculate the day's interest and repayment according to the formula. I usually do so at the beginning of my shift, so I know how many hours I need in order to keep up. Oh god, I hate this so much. Yes, I believe you'll do well here, sir. Happy to have you. Congratulations. You're hired. Wait, we can't. It's customary here to start each day with a shift drink. Let's make it special. Mark the occasion. This is the top shelf stuff now. Single barrel. He doesn't... Down the hatch. Wine is the death of memory. No. Nope. 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 Oh, I'm not moving. Oh, fuck. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. I know there's nothing I can do. I just hate this. So, seen any good movies lately? This is duress. This would not hold up in court. Decent enough? Welcome aboard. He's not working for you. We have to get back to this. He has a delivery to make. What's this? Not working? Are you turning down this opportunity? She's right. I have to make this I'm disappointed. And I'm afraid that leaves us with a delicate problem. As I indicated, this is the top shelf stuff you're drinking now. It isn't cheap. If it's not your first shift drink, well, and there's the matter of this tour just now. My time and experience are billed at quite a premium. This is not good for you, my friend. You're in quite deep by my back of the envelope estimations. Well, we have that in common, I suppose, all of us. Parasite. Yes, I'm afraid you'll have to work this off somehow. It's just the way of it. What's happening right now? You can start tomorrow. Take the time to settle your affairs. Of course, the interest begins to compound immediately, and, well, we'll go over the formula when you get here. I have to get back to work. See you tomorrow, then. Find an attorney. I'm confused. It's just the way these things go, kid. No, he tricked you. That's a cheat. No. I'm mad about a video game. This is just a story. Well, that still gives us a few hours to roam, right? Where's that ferry? Is this a friend of Julian? Giant eagle, giant mammoth. Whew. There we go. End of Act 3. A lot of stuff going on. It's very interesting. It is my fondest hope for this game that there's a way to get Conway out of this. Even they keep saying everything that I've read about this game says that there's one ending. It's a tragedy. That's not a spoiler. They've said that since day one. So, I don't have high hopes, but if you can't have it in life, in fiction, you'd like to have a little hope. So, next time is Here and There Along the Echo, which I believe, as I think I mentioned before, is the phone call thing that you could dial. So I'm interested in seeing how it will happen here. Yeah. Find an attorney. It sounds like their rate of interest is criminal. You can get out of this. Go to the Kentucky Department of Indigent Services, get yourself an attorney. Alright, bye.